Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in. It's a Fantasy Alarm Thanksgiving Day live stream. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody here. I'm Howard Bender. I'm with Jon Impemba. Jon, are you there? Are you okay? Are
Yeah,
you
I'm good.
conscious?
Listen, I thought we had a little bit of a pre communication issue there, but yeah, I'm doing good. Listen, it's Turkey Day. We were up late. We recorded a podcast for everybody.
Oh,
We're trying to get in the groove of things. Listen, it's a Thursday morning, right? How we're used to doing these things on Sunday. We're used to doing them on Thursday night. But I mean, listen, there's really nothing better than sitting down on Thanksgiving. You got 3 football games to watch. You eat your food early in the afternoon. Maybe you take a nap somewhere in there, then you wake up and then you make that turkey Thanksgiving sandwich later on in the day, and you watch the night game. So it's going to be a fun day of NFL football, good for DFS as well, and you know something to be thankful for there, Howard.
something to be thankful for. Yes, I'm thankful that my wife enables me to sit on the couch and watch TV the entire day and watch football. Of course, under the guise of I'm working, hon. Move away from the TV. Just put the food down. But she shuttles out like a whole mess of like appetizers and snacks throughout the day. And as I mentioned on the podcast last night, she goes a little breakfasty early in the day for the early game because well, right now it's only 7:30 our time, here on the West Coast. So by the time that game starts up at 9:30, she's hooking me up with that, and then all of a sudden, then it starts to build more towards a big dinner for the night game. So thankful for that. Thankful for everybody out there watching right now. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you, and I hope you guys are having a great day. And hope Jon and I can help you with some lineup setting and maybe some DFS talk for today's short slate. Right? I mean, they got the podcast, they got all the content's free. Jon, it's free.
It's true. It's our free Thanksgiving preview. All of the DFS content, the example lineups, the playbook, the coaches, the projections, the stats, and the even maybe even more is you get a free look at the lineup optimizer that we have here as well. Once the clock strikes midnight tonight, everything goes back behind the paywall for the Sunday main slate, but you still have access to everything that we got going on right now. So definitely check it out. See what people are winning. I mean, hey, we had a millionaire this year, Howard. So we're looking to get at least one more before the season's out, right?
We had one millionaire. We had Millionaire Mike in week 3. We also had a bunch of 6-figure wins in the subsequent weeks after that. So there's been a lot of stuff going on here. And like Jon said, all the content and all the tools and everything, that's free right now, which means the DFS watch list that I put out that covers all the games on Sunday, the wide receiver cornerback matchup report, Matt Sells' matchup report, weekly matchup report. So all the games, everything that you need for doing your research right now, if you've got time during this 24-hour span, went live at midnight last night, a little before actually.
Yeah.
You can start getting a jump on the research for this weekend. See who we like and who we don't like, because as Jon said, yes, once the clock strikes midnight tonight, and you all are sleeping in your beds in your little turkey comas, well, then it goes back to the paywall there. So get in while you can right now, and then if you see what you see what you got, you like what you see. We've obviously got our Black Friday special that you guys can take advantage of. That's right. It's what is it? It's fantasyalarm.com/Black Friday.
Yeah.
And you get a full year. You know it's one payment, right? At 25% off our usual annual cost. And what you get from that is you get one payment and then nothing else until January of 2023. So you're actually getting a full month here in December for free because we're giving you the full year and we're adding on December as well. So a little bit of an added bonus there. Take advantage of it. Again, tour through all the content right now, see what we've got, and make that decision. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is. It's the gift that keeps on winning, Howard. Right?
It is. It's the gift that keeps on winning. See, why did I come up with a tagline like that?
Well, you set me up. I knocked it down.
Let me get marketing on the phone here. Let me see if they got it.
Can we trademark that? I think we can trademark that.
Can we trademark that? I think we need to trademark that. We need to trademark this. All right. So big plans for you, John? Just sitting around watching TV, or you gonna have to, mosey on over to somebody else's location and find a comfortable spot there?
Yeah, we're traveling down, going to the fiance's aunt's house, spending Thanksgiving with her family, but we're still going to have plenty of football to watch. We'll eat some food. It's going to be a good day. It's always good to be around family. So, I'm just excited to, really sit down and just kind of relax a little bit, Howard, right? How often do we get to just kind of chill for a bit? We got no basketball today, so I don't have to worry about any of that. After this is over, it's all about food and football.
It's all about food and football today. So enjoy the day, everybody. Just a little word of advice when you're playing on a 3-game slate here for DFS. You don't need to play heavy. You stick with the GPP tournaments. Have some fun with it today. The problem is that, when you play cash games, there's so much overlap of players that you're going to end up, with higher pay lines. A lot of ties, a lot of lineup trains that you're going to end up dealing with. So just have some fun with the GPP. Again, listen to the podcast that John and I did, and obviously read through all the content, because we give you different ways to differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack. And we can go from there. We want to talk some injuries and some notes and stuff like that we've got going on.
Yeah, what do we have? I mean, we're waiting obviously on the Mark Ingram news. Alvin Kamara's already been ruled out, but Ingram is questionable to play. Obviously, he doesn't play. We go to, I guess, Tony Jones is the next guy up from there. We're waiting on the update on CD Lamb and his concussion, and whether it's a concussion, right? And whether or not he's going to be cleared or not to play for today. So those are definitely the two biggest ones. Any other ones on your radar today, Howard?
No, I took Mark Ingram out of the playbook. He was at the open portion of practice yesterday. But the bottom line is that he's dealing with a knee issue that's obviously wearing on him. I expect a lot out of the Bills defense today, especially after the poor showing that they had. So no Kamara, a limited Ingram, definitely puts me onto Tony Jones as like a flex play, some way to kind of differentiate yourself from the rest of the herd. CeeDee Lamb issue there. I mean, if he's playing, I'll have him in a contrarian lineup. I'll do that. But what I'm going to end up having to do is I'm going to build a lineup or two that has him in there with a late game pivot.
Yeah.
So that way I can find out.
Always
give yourself the out. Yeah, throw him in the flex. You could throw him in as a wide receiver, because listen, the night game, the Saints against the Bills, if you're going to play CeeDee Lamb, you could make a pivot to Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Or you could end up, paying down a little bit more and going with like a Manny Sanders or a Cole Beasley, or something like that. Or if you're Dan Malin, then you put him in your flex and you sub in Matt Breida for him and go to town with that one there. I don't know. I think those are the injuries that we're watching the most. And then there's kind of like the aftershocks from there.
Yeah, 100%.
You feeling good about your season-long lineups? I just realized, I'm like, man, I don't think I looked at any of my seasonal lineups. I think I missed waivers last night.
I'm an unfortunate heavy investor in Alvin Kamara. I was also lucky to draft Mark Ingram in some leagues where he was on Houston, because of how he was getting that run during the preseason. And I held on to him in some of the deeper 14-team leagues that I'm in. But now if he doesn't play, I'll probably be going to the waiver wire here. But overall, not too bad. Got a good record going in the pros with Joe's charity league. I got a good record in Scott Fishbowl and a decent playoff spot in my main home league. So we're riding along here, Howard.
Riding along. All right. Got any questions for me from the public? Anybody chilling out in Discord right now?
We do. We got a handful of questions here. Our friend Ann got some Q&A for us this morning here, Howard. So let's set her up and put her in line for some success. Okay.
I can do that.
All righty. So she kicks us off here. She wants to know if Elijah Mitchell is good to go. or if he should start she should start Zach Moss today.
I don't really like Zach Moss today. I mean, you don't run on the Saints. That's definitely been an issue. Not to mention the fact that Matt Breida has seen an increase in his snap count. Elijah Mitchell. They say he's not handling the football with his hand, that he's got the broken finger. But I would probably just stick with Mitchell here over Zach Moss. I just think that Mitchell, even if he's holding the ball in the other hand and just kind of protecting, well, I think he'll actually end up being a little bit more productive in this matchup against the Vikings, right? Vikings a little bit of a run funnel on their defense anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to go Mitchell too because, I mean, listen, just the introduction of Matt Breida now, all of a sudden, we saw Zach Moss' snap share dip below 30% the other week. So, and again, granted, game flow kind of took him out of that one as well since they were trailing the Colts, but not a good spot for Moss. So I'm going Mitchell there as well. She also needs to know at PPR, Dawson Knox or Logan Thomas.
Dawson Knox or Logan Thomas. See, I'd go I'd go Dawson Knox here. I mean, I get it. Logan Thomas, he'll play 100% of the snaps, right? He's going up against Seattle. It's not really a good thing, but I don't like using guys their first week back, especially when he was delayed a week, because he was supposed to be activated last week, and obviously there was some reason that they held him back again. And the question is are they fully confident in him right now, or was it the fact that John Bates really just didn't do enough for them that they were like, all right, well, let's at least get Logan Thomas in here on the blocking front and see what happens. That's my call. I'm curious to you.
Yeah, I mean, thoughts. Thomas is still dealing with soreness from what I read. Which is one of the reasons they didn't activate him. They didn't want to put him out there if he wasn't feeling 100%. Bates is okay. I mean, listen, when they threw to him, he actually caught the football. He actually had a big catch for them on third down as well in that game. But I think it's just the fact that if he's healthy enough to go, of course, they want Logan Thomas out there. So if all indications are that he is ready to play, I kind of lean that direction. But since we don't know, or we're still a little bit unsure, you got to play, I think, Knox today against the Saints for me. So it's probably the direction I would take it as well. Don't want to get stuck in a spot where you're playing an injured player who goes through warm-ups, the ankle tweaks or whatever, and then he's out again. So maybe Jim wants to know Gallup, OBJ, or Corey Davis.
Gallup, OBJ, or Corey Davis. Well, first of all, hello, Navy Jim. It's always great to talk to the captain himself. Great dude. Man, I would probably say I'd probably just go with Gallup here, especially if it's in a PPR. I don't really have a lot of confidence in CeeDee Lamb. 3 days off of concussion. I don't even know if he's going to get cleared. It's really weird that we haven't heard anything except for Dak Prescott being like, oh, he practiced in full.
Right.
Did he? So I look to Gallup as he's a guy who moves the chains. Will he get into the end zone? I don't know. But, to me, OBJ he's a deep threat. He's not really, I don't necessarily know how he's going to gel into that Rams lineup there. And then Corey Davis, yeah, I get it. It's Houston, but I don't know how Zach Wilson's going to be in his first game back. And so I think I would take, bird in the hand here, Cap, and get yourself a little Michael Gallup.
So zero considerations for Odell is what you're saying.
Not zero considerations. I just think that I think Gallup has a higher floor.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a PPR.
Yeah, it doesn't say actually.
All right. Well, I mean, if it's a PPR, like that's the thing, I mean, at least Gallup, catch a bunch of balls and bring something up.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on the Gallup call. I just wanted to at least have a little discussion on Odell. I know you and I kind of had a little back and forth on how we think he would fare with the Rams and whatnot. So I think you said they would rather have Josh Reynolds back.
They would be better off with Josh Reynolds than OBJ. 100%. I stand by that. And when Josh Reynolds is doing a little end zone dancing today for Detroit, boom.
Hey, you'll have the play if that works out for you. So Ann's got another cue for us here. Needs 2 in a PPR. Damien Harris, Kadarius Toney, Mandy Sanders, Devonta Smith.
I go Smith and Sanders here. I know Sanders hasn't gotten into the end zone the last couple of games. You and I talked about this on the podcast. He's still a reliable target. We did talk about the revenge game narrative here, him going up against his former team, the Saints. Listen, the fact that he hasn't gotten into the end zone the last couple of games, but two of these games have been horrendous for Buffalo, against Indianapolis and against Jacksonville.
Right.
So nobody was getting into the end zone, at that point. I mean, Diggs did, but he's Diggs. So I would probably go with that. And then listen, Devonta Smith, he's blossoming. He's doing well. He seems to be a nice target, for Jalen Hurts. So I think I would probably lean there.
Yep. I would go the same way. Again, even though they did fire Jason Garrett, good things for the Giants offense there. I'm not ready to trust that quite yet, that Toney is be successful there against Philadelphia. And then the Harris neck injury, it's just too risky to. I guess if Harris is in, because we'll know the answer on. Because you're playing you're playing Sanders today. Yeah, play Sanders and Devonta there. Husker wants to know Tony Jones, assuming Ingram is out, Damien Harris or Kareem Hunt, who is expected to play this week in a PPR. Pick one.
Damn. I mean, I guess, I'll go against my belief that I don't like to play guys who are just coming back from the injury, but given the matchup here, can we really rely that much on Tony Jones if Ingram is out? I can't even guarantee that Ingram's going to be out. And so they'll share the role. So if it's going to be somebody sharing the role, I'd probably just go with Kareem Hunt here. He's just, to me, he's the more explosive player.
Yeah, I think that Hunt is probably the more explosive player as well. Plus, again, Harris, the neck injury, even if he ends up being active, like one hit, right, and the neck gets tweaked or something, he's a running back. He could be on the sideline again. So Kareem Hunt for me as well. Ann wants to know in a PPR, do you play Donta Foreman, Jarvis Landry, or Traquan Smith today?
Ooh. I mean, you tell me, John. Donta Foreman against the Patriots.
Patriots have one of the best run defenses over the last half of the season. So probably no, especially if A.J. Brown doesn't play now. He's in question. He didn't practice. We always talk about the Patriots take away the one thing you're supposed to do well. Well, if they don't have to worry about A.J. Brown, they're just going to stop the running game, I would imagine. So I'm out on there. It's probably Jarvis Landry, but I don't.
Didn't he just miss practice with a knee issue?
Did he? If he did, I missed that one then. So
I'm pretty sure that Jarvis Landry missed practice on Wednesday. Process of elimination
then, Howard. Right?
What's that?
Process of elimination then.
Process of elimination. Let me double check this on Landry. I'm pretty sure that was the case here, but I will double check on Jarvis, and that is, did not participate in Wednesday's practice. He aggravated his knee injury in week 11. Listen, he's been missing practices and stuff like that, but is this a chance that you want to take? And the answer is no. Right. So Traquan, baby, Traquan.
The target share for Traquan lately has been going up, which is nice. And as we talked about on the podcast last night, Adam Trautman was seeing a pretty good target share as well. And all of a sudden now Trautman's not involved anymore. Does Simeon look for another outlet, or they just go to Juwan Johnson as like a straight up replacement in terms of how Simeon approaches his offense? But 8 and 7 targets, 215 targets over the last 2 weeks for Traquan, 95 and 91% of the offensive snaps for him. I think he's the number one receiver on this team now. I know Callaway's got in the end zone and Harris has had some decent weeks, but I think Traquan's actually the number one guy at the moment on this team. So I'm gonna go with Traquan here too. If now given the news that Landry is possibly a little bit beat up, Howard. So good one, good pick out on that one. DJ wants to know Melvin Gordon, or I guess Mark Ingram here in a PPR, leaning towards Gordon to play it safe. it's not even to me that Gordon is playing it safe this week. I think Gordon is in a great spot against the Chargers. They're last in run DVOA, and Gordon plays a lot of the pass snaps as well for Denver. So I know you and Craig Mish picked the Chargers for your Westgate Super Contest or Golden Nugget there, and Denver is a home dog here. But if you can do one thing successfully against the Chargers, it's run the football. And Gordon does seem to be the lead back there, even though him and Williams sort of a 50-50 split here. But I actually like Melvin Gordon this week.
You're on fantasyalarm.com right now, aren't you, John?
I am.
Go to dfsalarm.com actually.
Okay, I'm on dfsalarm.com.
All right, go to the weekly watch list in the menu.
Go to the watch list in the menu. This is a good navigational tool for everybody here.
Right.
Yeah, go to the NFL tab, go to the premiums tab, go to the watch list, and the cover of the watch list today.
Oh yeah, who's on the cover of the watch list?
That looks like a Melvin Gordon on the cover of the watch list.
Game, set, match.
Yeah, so we're in on Melvin Gordon. I didn't even know that was the cover of the watch list. That was just my own analysis on the player. Glad Howard and I are in lockstep here, which isn't surprising. We worked together for like a decade at this point. Yeah, leading towards go. Dijo play Melvin this week. I like that one a lot. Ann wants to know if Lamar's good to go or if she should be playing Trevor Siemian today.
Stick with Lamar. Listen, it was an illness. It's non-COVID related. I've heard people say that the problem is that he's been experiencing the mud butt a little bit more lately because he's a party guy and he likes to go out at night, and and that upsets his stomach a little bit.
He did have that amazing Monday Night Football game against the Browns a few years back when he had that. He had a lead.
Did that waddle back to the locker room.
Yeah. So yeah,
but I'm sticking with Lamar.
Yeah, sticking with Lamar here as well. Lebo wants to know, need a PPR flex. We got a few people here. I don't know if you got a pen and paper available, or if you're reading the Discord, maybe it's easier for you to follow along. All right, perfect. PPR flex. Mark Ingram, Melvin Gordon, J.D. McKissick, Darnell Mooney, Michael Gallup, Odell Beckham, Mike Williams.
And how many does he need here?
One.
One flex?
This feels like maybe a DFS question. Maybe this is I have a flex spot open in my DFS lineup, or you just drafted really well. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a tough one here. I'm gonna narrow it down. Here to Gordon, to Mooney, and to Mike Williams. All right. I'm gonna kind of talk through these three. We just talked through Melvin Gordon.
Yep.
And everything that we know about him in the Chargers run defense says it's a good spot for him. I like Darnell Mooney a lot here against the Lions. I definitely do. And I love Mike Williams going up against Denver. I think that Denver's secondary can be a little suspect, and Williams is a guy who I'm a big fan of. But I think if you're looking for the floor, right, you want to play it safe, then I'm in on Gordon, right, and I'll use him. I think if you're looking for some home run upside, then I'm probably going to tilt to Mooney here, just with this with a softer matchup and the fact that Dalton is he's all about throwing that hero ball right now. Mike Williams is a great option here, but with Eckler and Keenan Allen, running around, he's definitely number 3 on the targets list as opposed to Mooney, who's the number 1 target in Chicago. So safe floor, Gordon, high upside, Mooney. That's how I'm going to sit with that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there as well. That's probably how I'm going to go. There's also, let's see.
It's the process, people. It's the process.
It is. It's all about talking through the process. Half PPR. I got A.J. Dillon in my flex. Starting Eckler and Najee Harris. Starting Godwin and Debo at wide receiver. On my bench, I have Mooney, Lamb, Tony, and Damien Harris. with Aaron Jones being there's a long process to get to this answer. With Aaron Jones being limited, should I risk waiting until Sunday for Dillon, or should I play Mooney or Lamb instead? So, would you play A.J. Dillon in lieu of the Aaron Jones news, or would you rather play a C.D. Lamb or Darnell Mooney today?
I'm gonna stick with A.J. Dillon. I think you and I talked about this, right? With Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Like the Packers have a bye week in week 13. So why would you rush? You've already talked about Aaron Jones possibly missing 2 weeks. So why not let him miss the 2 weeks? Let him get that third week under his belt there for health, and then boom, then he comes back, for week 14 and beyond. I think it's a smarter move for the Packers. So I don't think there's anything wrong with utilizing A.J. Dillon, here in this matchup. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was already getting a pretty decent little workload as well in this one, so I'm kind of with you there. I think we can certainly go ahead and just continue going in that direction as well. So next question that we got here, our guy Home Run here, Howard. Bacon egg muffins are excellent, so clearly he listened to the podcast that we put out there, and yes, though they are amazing. For those who are not aware, you got to go check out the podcast from today. Howard and I discussed a nice little easy breakfast for those on the move.
You G-chatted me the link. Why don't you tweet that link out?
I'll tweet. Yeah, I'll tweet out the link. But basically, what you're doing, you get a little muffin pan. You put a little piece of toast or carve out an English muffin. Put it at the bottom. You can use some pre-cooked bacon, or you pre-cook a little bit of bacon yourself. You don't cook it all the way through. You cross it into the muffin pan, and then you crack an egg or mix a scrambled egg up there. Throw a little cheese, bake it in the oven so the egg cooks through and the bacon gets crispy, and then you get yourself a little bacon egg muffin type deal there. It's fantastic. We have them during the holidays, but they're good for on the go as well. So definitely take a look at that.
Just before we get to Home Run's question on that, so I finished the podcast with you last night, right? And on the podcast, I was all like, I'll wake up my wife to, the smell of cooked bacon and stuff like that. She'll be excited. I went inside. I was like, man, have you ever heard of these? Like, you should make these tomorrow morning for us while I'm watching football in the morning. And she was like, go F yourself. Why don't you wake me up in the morning with the smell of these cooking? And I was like, did you listen to that podcast already? Because that kind of bummed me out. But yeah, I will not be eating those this morning because I'm here right now.
Yeah, that's funny there, Howard. So
is it though? Was it funny enough for you, John?
I thought it was funny. Yeah,
okay.
I was laughing. I was having a good time.
You won't once you get married and it becomes your reality.
We'll talk about that bridge when we pass it there for sure. All right, so he wants to know: does he play Josh Jacobs or Miles Sanders in a full PPR?
I would. I think I would probably go Jacobs here. I mean, I don't know with the touches there for Miles Sanders. Is he really going to get that work? We've talked about mobile quarterbacks. He
did last week.
What was his touches last week?
16 for 93, I think.
Oh.
He just didn't score. Hurts ran for 3 scores.
Hurts did run for 3 scores. That does become a little bit of a detractor there. Yeah. I think I'd still go with Jacobs, but if you've got a differing opinion, man, go for it.
No, I'm gonna go. The thing is that you can run on the Giants too, right? So if it's a PPR, I think we go Jacobs. We talked about this in the podcast last night as well. They're not using Drake as the pass catcher; they're using Jacobs in that role, and he's also getting the carry. So. I think I'm going to go Jacobs this week as well.
Is this did he say whether this is a PPR or not?
Yeah, full PPR.
Full PPR. All right. I'm going to go to the tiebreaker here, or at least a possible voice of reason. And let's see where Adam Ronis has Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders listed, right?
Yep.
Wouldn't that that would make sense?
Makes sense for me.
Let's see. I see Miles Sanders is 18th, and Josh Jacobs is 22nd. So Adam Ronis likes Miles Sanders a little bit more than John and I do, but they are definitely close enough.
Yeah.
In this matchup here. So Ronis says Sanders, John and I say Jacobs.
Yeah, that's kind of the direction that I'm going to lean here. Going forward as well. Let's see. He's got another question. CeeDee Lamb injured. Would you play Gallup over him even if Lamb plays?
Yes, I would.
Yeah. Yeah, probably going to go Gallup. It's just a safer play, as you mentioned. He's worried about Ingram not playing. Do you sit him? If you don't play him, he's got Jacobs or Ty Johnson in a full PPR. No Michael Carter this week.
I gotta say, I like Ty Johnson in this spot. I don't believe in Tevin Coleman. So, against Houston, Houston's given up what, like 16, 17 rushing touchdowns on the year already? The most of anybody. I'm in on Ty Johnson here.
Yeah, the Jets are also very bad against the run, but I think Ty, it would be incredibly frustrating if this is like a Tevin Coleman week, but something that we'll have to pay attention to there. Let's see. Ann wants to know PPR, Devonta Freeman, Van Jefferson, or Robbie Anderson. Need one.
Devonta Freeman, Van Jefferson. I think I would probably go Freeman as the lead back in that offense, right? He keeps getting the red zone touches too. Like that's, again, I like Van Jefferson, but I'm just, there's so many, there are different moving parts with that Rams passing attack. The only constant that we know is that Darrell Henderson gets the carries and Cooper Kupp gets the majority of the targets.
Yeah.
Like everything else is kind of up in the air, really. Van Jefferson's getting like 7 targets a game, which is great, but is there a lot of upside there? And what is as we work in OBJ into this group, where does that go? Like how does that fall out, and how is that going to affect Van Jefferson? Who was the third one there?
Third one was Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, can we do that? I know, and I said this on the Wager Alarm live stream. If the Panthers are so great now, right? Cam Newton is the be all end all, and Christian McCaffrey is like the stud running back. Why are they only a 2-point favorite against Miami? It's not like Miami. Miami's defense has improved, but it's not like Miami is.
I think it's them being home.
So what? You think the Panthers are just going to sit there and party here, down in Miami? Like, Jim Bowden said that to me.
It's the Miami flu, Howard.
It is the Miami flu, and he did bring that up. Are they really factoring in the Miami flu here? And that's why I feel like Vegas is begging you to take the Panthers and be like, they only have to win by a field goal? Of course they can. Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey are amazing, right? So with that, then I start to actually kind of worry about what kind of production we're going to get from Carolina here, and what kind of work we're going to get from their defense. Like that's the kind of stuff that you have to think of when you're not just betting, but when you're looking at fantasy as well, and you're trying to make these decisions of Robbie Anderson. Was he getting any kind of targets? And or was that 1-2-yard touchdown and that's it?
Right. Yeah. Listen, when you come to these certain like party towns, Miami being one, Las Vegas is another one. I think it was the year the Vegas Golden Knights were the expansion team, and they went on their crazy cup run there. Their home record was unbelievable because teams were going into Las Vegas the night before, staying out all night in Las Vegas, probably having strippers sent to their hotel rooms. And they just weren't ready to play hockey the next day. And you see it all the time with Miami. These guys are going out partying. That's why half the teams in the NFL, when they leave Miami, there's COVID pops everywhere because they're out there, partying around. So yeah, I think maybe the Miami flu is possibly something that is being factored in there, whether they want to admit to it or not there, Howard. So
John, we've got breaking news here on the live stream. No CeeDee Lamb today.
Ooh, no CeeDee Lamb today. All right,
No
well,
CeeDee Lamb.
get on those Michael Gallup props now, I guess, if you can. Maybe pop in a Cedric Wilson. Actually, Howard, so Cedric Wilson is the one that's going to replace him. Andrew Cooper actually brought up a good point on the Fantasy Alarm podcast last week about how the Cowboys are one of those teams that use like the linear depth chart type thing where there's specific backups for players. So last week, while everybody was thinking it was Cedric Wilson that was going to be in for Amari Cooper and get the bump, it was actually Noah Brown that was playing the majority of the snaps there until CeeDee Lamb got hurt, and then Cedric Wilson started seeing more of the playing time there. But now, of course, with Lamb out, I think Wilson and Noah Brown are two free plays, essentially, probably. Even though Noah Brown didn't even catch a ball last week, he was out there for a majority of the snaps for Dallas. He played 64% of the offensive snaps last week. So he's a guy that's going to be on the field. You know that Cedric Wilson's going to be on the field, but Dalton Schultz now becomes maybe a must-play today.
All right. So Mike Mayer from a couple of fantasy sites said that Jay Glazer is the one who reported that Lamb did not clear concussion protocol, which is why he's out. Now, I'm looking at Jay Glazer's Twitter timeline right now, and I don't see anything there yet. But that apparently he said it on Fox NFL. So if you guys are watching the live stream and not listening to Fox NFL, well, then there you go. So,
yeah, I haven't seen Schefter or anybody break this yet. So
I haven't seen them break it yet either, but keep an eye on that. Allen Robinson is officially inactive. Do we have our inactives page going over at fantasyalarm.com? We should
be having. We should have the inactives going. I don't know if it's fully filled out yet, but yeah,
Justin Fields, Damian Williams, Allen Robinson, all inactive. Akeem Hicks is also inactive, as are Tease Tabor, Mario Edwards, and Jesper Horsted. So that means now, no Akeem Hicks, no Khalil Mack, no Danny Trevathan. Eddie Jackson is active for today's game, but he is still a little banged up there as the free safety. So that is no good. On the Lions side here, David Blau is inactive. So
yeah, Goff is already active today. So
Goff is active, but here you go. Like, if Goff wasn't, if Goff gets hurt, then they're gonna have to go to Tim Boyle, which is a horror show.
Right.
I would have preferred David Blau, but David Blau inactive. Trinity Benson is inactive. Trey Flowers is inactive. Matt Nelson and Halapulavati Vaitai is also inactive. So there you go. Look at that. No Robinson, no Williams, no Fields, no blah.
Yeah, so I mean, we talked about it, right? Mooney obviously in there, but Marquis Goodwin last week played a bunch of snaps, had 8 targets. He's a home run threat. You talk about Andy Dalton just wanted to take shots. Well, he's basically got 2 track stars now on either side to throw the football downfield to today in Mooney and in Goodwin. So I'm not thinking highly of the Detroit secondary here. So while you're not a big fan of the red rifle there, Howard, right? So, but we got it's a good matchup for him today.
The Red Rocket,
Red Rifle, whatever his name is.
Well, no, his nickname is the Red Rifle. The Red Rocket is that little thing that's hanging down from your dog.
Right. It's Thanksgiving, Howard. Come on.
The bubblegum cigar.
All right. Ian wants to know T. Higgins or Jerry Jeudy.
T. Higgins. I'm out on Denver. Denver's become an atrocity. I mean, I hate Pat Shurmur as an offensive coordinator anyway. It's literally the worst offense and most unimaginative offense there. Jeudy will get he'll get some targets, but I think Teddy Bridgewater sucks at football, and I can't invest in them.
Yep, I'm with you. He doesn't suck. He's just too conservative. So, Roddy wants to know, we're thinking Lamb is out here, Roddy. Claypool, Tyler Boyd, Javonte Williams, or Alex Collins?
I might go Javonte Williams here because, they utilize him for at least half the workload on the ground, and it's against the Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go Javonte here as well. Claypool with Big Ben is iffy, even though he did have a big play last week. Tyler Boyd's too hit or miss. He actually had a good game last week, but it's like few and far between when Burrow actually throws in the football. And then I don't want to run Alex Collins against Washington. So we're going Javonte here, Roddy. And then Home Run wants to know, Moody today or Waddle on Sunday?
Ooh. I'd probably go Mooney today just for the upside.
Yeah. Number one receiver on this team against Detroit, and I think you got to go in that direction as well. Howard, for now, that is all the questions we have coming into the live stream QA. If you're watching this and want your questions answered today, whether it is DFS or seasonal, go to the live stream QA channel in the DFS Alarm or Fantasy Alarm Discord and go ahead and send us your questions. We're here till 11:30, Howard. So, anything else you want to talk about? You want to talk about maybe some lineup construction today for DFS?
I would love to talk about a little lineup construction today for DFS. No doubt about it.
Sure. So go about it.
No, please, you.
I was just going to say, with it being a 3-game slate, of course, you got to be, I said approach it like this is a showdown, but you have a little bit of a larger player pool to play around with. But the chalk is going to be 70-80% likely rostered here. You're looking to find a swing play in there that is going to be a little bit more contrarian to give you some lower ownership, because that's what's going to make a difference here. When there's going to be a lot of lineups today, they're going to have the same plays.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last thing that you just said.
It's going to be a lot of lineups there that have the same players.
There are going to be. Well, that's why I stick to just GPP. Absolutely. Listen. It's kind of funny. I think you and I, because we're on the same plays also, and we've done the podcast and we're doing this live stream, let's just, you want to go through quickly position by position here real quick?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's break out the playbook, Howard. It's free for everybody, right?
So it is free for everybody.
We can go ahead and take a look at the free.
I don't even need to go through the playbook here. From the position, favorites of ours is really where it comes down to.
Fair.
And we talked on the podcast about this. Josh Allen, if you're paying up at QB, Josh Allen, and you don't need to stack with him because of the work that he does, with his legs, and he likes to run it in there, close to the end zone. So when you get Josh Allen, you're getting a slice of all those receivers, plus you're getting a slice of that ground game. So he's there. On the pay down, you like Dalton, and I like Goff. So give your case for Dalton.
Yeah, again, I just think it's matchup based, right? Like I understand that everybody's been playing Montgomery, and I too like Montgomery for today. He actually has the highest rushing total prop on the board today at 72.5 rushing yards. But I'm looking at this matchup against Detroit. I'm looking at the two receivers on the outside now for Chicago, in Mooney, in Goodwin, and we saw last week that Dalton connected with both on 2 big touchdown throws. While I understand Dalton has certainly taken some steps back over the last few years, this is the Lions. Like they're terrible, right? So I'm looking at a spend down option. I'm looking at a game that I think could probably surprise from a fantasy aspect. These two teams are bad, but so are their defenses, and at times that can mean for a shootout. Now we're only looking at a 41.5 game total. It's the lowest on the board today. But if Goff, not Goff, Goff too, I guess. But if Dalton goes out there and throws for 282 scores today, that's enough, right? Like at his price tag to allow you to spend up, and maybe you take a Diggs, or you pay up for the running backs today, or you get Darren Waller in your lineup, and you kind of go in that direction. You don't have to worry about now spending up for the Dallas receivers if Lamb is out. So there's plenty of value there. If you want to go there, but it's all about trying to get different. And I actually think Dalton will probably be rather popular today. My contrarian quarterback play is going to be Derek Carr.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'll have the example lineups up in a little bit so that people can check them out. I didn't have Derek Carr in the playbook. Because I don't want to hang out in the middle there. I mean, I think you can either go with Allen and pay up or pay down if you believe in Dalton or you believe in Goff, whichever way you want to lean. So I didn't really go with the middle. But full disclosure, I do have a GPP lineup on DraftKings and a GPP lineup on FanDuel in single entry that utilizes 3 max entry on DraftKings. But it utilizes Derek Carr because I do agree with you. I think it's going to be more of a contrarian move than anything else. Everybody loves Renfro and everybody loves Waller, but nobody's using Carr, nobody's using Jacobs either. So
right.
I feel like I can kind of go with it.
Yeah, we talked Jacobs again on the podcast last night, where the perception of him this season has been a disappointment, and it kind of has. We're not going to sit here and say he's been great, but he's got double-digit fantasy points in all but 1 week this season, right? So, if somehow he finds his way into the end zone today, I think he's got 5 scores on the season. If he finds his way into the end zone today, he's given you 16, 17, 18 fantasy points. They're using him in the passing game, which is kind of frustrating for those who've rostered Kenny Drake. Because that's supposed to be his role, but they're dumbing it down to Jacobs a lot. So in a PPR format, there's extended value there. And, you may have the numbers in front of you, but if I remember correctly, over the last few seasons, Dallas has struggled against running backs that can catch the football. I know that we've talked about that over the past few years. It feels like that's something that probably still holds true, but, that's just a perception of mine. The numbers may or may not prove that outright, but if that's still the case, this could be a game where Jacobs does catch 5 or 6 balls again and finds his way into be valuable, where people, again, are sort of down on him.
Dallas ranks 3rd in DVOA against running back pass plays, giving up an average of 38.1 yards per game.
Yeah, so like I said, perception versus reality, but in the past, they've been pretty bad. So. Yeah, they did make some draft picks that have certainly helped their defense this year, so that could certainly play a role into that one as well.
No doubt. You got
to go out on a limb sometimes, Howard, and just say things you believe and hope that they're true when you're live. So there's always an aspect to it.
Absolutely, you gotta. Again, these GPP contests, especially if you're playing multi-entry, even if you're throwing in 20 lineups, right? You gotta get weird on some of them, and that means that you got to throw in Jacobs there. You got to do that. Now, I mean, if you're using our lineup generator over at Fantasy Alarm, let's say you're going to build 20 lineups, throw it into a contest there. My suggestion, I'm like, I would build like 10 lineups using just the playbook options, and then I would build 10 lineups that use all of the options, because I don't have Jacobs in the playbook and I don't have Carr in the playbook. And so, you do have to kind of get a little weird sometimes. And, there are plays. I don't have Noah Brown, in the playbook. So, just my suggestion would be, if you're using that lineup generator, split your lineups between, narrow it down with the playbook and then, kind of use that entire player pool. That's just my call.
And these type of slates, it's usually a spot where you want to throw the backup running backs in as well. I think Pollard's going to be popular anyways, but Howard, we talked about it. The rushing yards prop on Ezekiel Elliott today is a bit suspicious, is what we said on the live stream on the podcast last night. It's only
explain that to everybody.
Yeah, so obviously Elliott's been a little bit banged up. In recent weeks, the rushing performances from him haven't been stellar. He was able to save himself with 2 rushing touchdowns against Atlanta, but the yards haven't been great there. And then you're looking at the rushing yards, and again, we're looking at a matchup against the Raiders where they're not a good run defense. You think they're going to go ahead and be a game that Zeke is pretty heavily featured, and a high-scoring game at that with a 51, I think, game total. Yet Zeke's rushing prop on this one is just 61.5 yards, which feels low for a running back like Ezekiel Elliott, right? You would think he is priced up as the number 1 running back on this slate. We envision him as a workhorse. We're thinking that Dallas is going to win this game. They're 7-point favorites? Is that what I saw them at? Yes, they're
Dallas,
seven and a half point favorites. That's a pretty big favorite. You would think the lead running back in a game like that would have a higher rushing prop, but that's not the case. His rushing yard prop is like the third highest on the slate. So I look at that and it just feels curious to me. Is it because he's still hurt? Is it that they feel like Pollard's going to start taking on more of a role? Is it just that Vegas is taking into account the last 3 games for him where he hasn't been great and therefore the number is down? To me, I'm just that like sends a bell off to me because I feel like when David Montgomery has a 71.5 yard rushing prop for today against Detroit, you feel Zeke should be in that same air, and yet he's not.
Right, yeah.
So, to me, that was just something that stuck out as curious. Maybe that makes it a great bet, right? Like you're looking at Zeke should have no problem. They're going to be up 2 scores, and they'll run the clock out with him, or something's still going on with him, and Vegas is giving you a number they want you to bet, right? Vegas is pretty good at that, and giving you a number that seems too good to be true.
Vegas is very good about giving you a number that's always too good to be true. Right? That's the phrase, baby. All those big, beautiful hotels in Las Vegas, all built on the public being wrong. So you got to be suspicious of that. It's a great point with Zeke's rushing yard prop. It really is. People are looking at that and they're like, oh man, of course he can smash that. He's Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
They're not thinking about the fact that he's come out of the last 2 games with a knee issue. They're not thinking about the fact that Tony Pollard's going to easily eat into his workload. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think I used Zeke in any of my lineups, but I've got Pollard in a couple of them.
Yep, the last 3 games, his snap share count. Again, we know he left some of these games with injuries. 53%, 49%, 69%. Those 3 times before those 3 games, he's only played less than 70% once. And that was another game where he left briefly with an injury. So, again, is a game script. I know Dallas obviously was down against Kansas City and Denver there, and reasons to take him out. But even against Atlanta, they were up big in that one, but he only averaged 2.9 yards a carry against Atlanta, right? Like the last 4 games for Ezekiel Elliott, 50, 51, 41, 32 rushing yards, all under, right? But he's an $8,000 back today. It feels like that may not be a smart spend.
Might not be the smart spend, not at all. You know what I'm gonna do, because it's all free today. I'm just gonna throw out these example lineups to everybody right now. Just do it a minute or 2 earlier than I usually do.
Well, you do that. I got a couple more questions here for you, Howard.
Oh, I love it. Serve it up, baby. What do we got?
Judy, Javonte, or Freeman?
Javonte.
Pittman or Mooney?
Mooney.
Beasley, Landry, or Tony Pollard? He also has Zeke. Would you play both?
I'm actually a believer in Beasley today. The slot corner for New Orleans is always rough, right? It's either Bradley Roby or PJ Williams, and they both kind of suck. So I kind of like that, man. I mean, but would you put Pollard in instead of Zeke, or like if you're putting Pollard in, you're hedging against Zeke. You're saying that you don't believe in Zeke, and you're using 2 spots right there for 1 running back. So, like, do you do something like that? I mean, I think if you feel like you've got this game in hand, right, then you could do something like that. But I mean, I would probably just go with Beasley here.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Beasley. In DFS, you can play Pollard, but in seasonal, you can't get too cute. You can't bench Elliott if he's active, because he could do what he did against Atlanta. Run for 40 yards, but run for 2 scores. Right? Like, they get in the red zone, they give him the football. He doesn't have a productive day actually running the football, but the touchdown upside. Tony Pollard isn't getting that red zone work. It's Elliott, as long as he stays healthy. So, you can't go and play Pollard over him. I'll go with you. I'll ride the Beasley train with you this week. Here as well, Howard. So that wraps up the questions we got so far. Still 5 minutes left. So if you want to give us those example lineups, we can throw them out there.
They're out there. They're
out there already. Okay, perfect. Well, then go ahead.
They're live. Go check them out.
Go to DFS Alarm and check out the example lineups that Howard has out there for you, GPP lineups for your DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo contest. We have a Yahoo free roll today, Howard, as well. Go to Fantasy Alarm. Is it fantasyalarm.com/Yahoo? What is the
No, fantasyalarm.com/Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And that brings you right over to the Yahoo free roll. So go check that out and play that. And then again, don't forget, everything that we've got out there on the website right now for NFL content is 100% free. All our tools, all our content, everything. So if you want to just do a little research, a little recon research for the weekend games, you've got everything from all the coaches, from the watch list, from the matchup reports, everything like that. It's all free. So take it for a spin, see how you like it, and then, if you like what you got, if you have a good time with it, then take advantage of the Black Friday special that we're doing this week, and that is fantasyalarm.com/Black Friday, 25% off of the annual price. It's one payment, all right, and that carries you till January of 2023. So you're actually getting 13 months worth of all of our playbooks. And this is every sport. This is
over 12 sports, Howard.
Over 12 sports. DFS and season long.
Yeah.
So, again, take it for free today. See how you like it. Get that Black Friday special because, John, why? It's the kind of gift that
keeps on winning, Howard.
It's my man.
Gift that keeps on winning. So, yes, like Howard said, you get the rest of the NFL season, both seasonal and DFS. NHL and NBA are going on right now. We just had a GPP winner in the NBA just 2 nights ago, rather. Someone won $2,500 using the playbook, the podcast, and all the good stuff we got going on over the NBA team. But also the MLB season is right on its way. We're kicking off with the draft guide soon. We're planning it, right, Howard? So that will be out for everybody. You get access to all that throughout the MLB DFS and season long as well. But also, we're coming into we're beginning the course season 4 PGA coming up soon. Mike Alexander does all that great MMA content. So, if you've ever wanted to try other DFS sports, this is your opportunity, right? You're getting it at a discount. You get the whole package for free. You can play your primary DFS sports, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, hockey, but then try what we got going on, our CSGO and League of Legends cover. I don't even understand it, Howard, what goes on with League of Legends or Counter-Strike, but I win. So there's the bonus going. It's a video game. I have no idea what's happening half the time, but our team is good. I just listened to their playbook. I put a lineup together, and we're cashing. So get there. Plus, you get access to our premium Discord. All the questions that we just answered for everybody was given to us in our premium Discord. You get access to both seasonal and DFS Discord, which means you get access to us, myself, Howard Bender, James Grande, Dan Malin, Justin Vreeland, Kev Tompkins, Matt Sells, Colby Conway, Ryan Hallam, Andrew Cooper. Ray Coons in there all the time. Chris Murray, Andrew Dewhurst. The whole team is in there answering your questions for all your sports, helping you guys be successful. So that too itself is just a great feature to have access to. Help us help you win your leagues, and come join the family. Again, one payment till 2023, Howard. There's literally no better deal that you can take advantage of.
There really is not a single better deal out there. So yeah, do it. Join the family. We got you covered, right? Who else is sitting there doing live streams on Thanksgiving Day to take care of their subscribers, right? John and I were at it all night last night dealing with the podcast and everything like that. We put you guys before ourselves, and that's the dedication, that's the service that you want. That's listen, that's it.
Yep, that is it. And it's 11:30, Howard, so if you want to send us out, we'll still be in Discord answering your questions for another hour till roster lock, and we'll be in there throughout the day peeping in while we're having our turkey and relaxing and watching some football. But it's good luck to everybody today, and enjoy the Thanksgiving.